Hi, welcome to Secondhand News You Can Use. I'm your host, Kimberly J. Joining me is Henry Miner and Dr. Michaela. Welcome, everybody. We're going to kick this off with viral buzz. Let me tell you a little bit about the viral buzz. That's everything that you probably already know, or maybe you don't know, but we're here for it and we're here to tell you. And the first thing we're going to talk about is Katt Williams, because Katt Williams is still breaking the internet, right? Katt Williams' interview on Club Shay Shay's podcast continues to go viral as he went in on several comedians and celebrities in entertainment business. The video is on YouTube and it now has over 38 million views. Henry, do you think that Katt was too candid in his interview?
You know what? We all know Katt Williams is as a character, and whenever he puts his spin on something, it's usually in hyperbole. But I think he has a lot of truth with what he's saying. Do I think he went too far? Was he too candid? I think he always goes over, right? That's what we love about Katt Williams. I think it's fantastic. I think he has the platform to do it. He has the independence to do it. He's not really leaning on the big studios and having to be beholden to them. So I'm all for it. I love the drama. I love the mess. And he's speaking a lot of truth.
Well, absolutely. And I'm here for it. Okay, so Michaela, any thoughts that you have to dovetail on that?
Yeah, well, Katt, to me, he's always for the underdog. And a lot of the people that he spoke against or spoke for are people that have been messed over in the comedic world or in the entertainment world. So, and there's not one person, not one single person who said he lied. Katt did not lie, period. You can say what you want, you can talk about, you can claim his Fendi jacket was fake, you can say whatever you want to say, you can say that you have receipts, but he did not lie, period.
Love it. Well, y'all are nice. Here's what I have to say. You're right. I totally agree with everything y'all had to say. Hey, Katt did not lie. I don't care how many lyrics you spit. I don't care how many clips that people show. There was not one person, not one. I listened to everybody follow up. Not one person said, first of all, he out and out lied, right? No one said that. And we, as a people, I know I looked at everybody's comments. Nobody saw where some people took up for other people that they like. And I expected that for the most part. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say 90 to 95% of the population agreed with Katt, and they're happy that the truth is out, and they're looking and waiting with bated breath for more truth. So with that said, Dr. Michaela, he's getting ready to go on tour with Torrei Hart. Do you think this was planned or strategic? How do you feel about that?
I don't know if it was planned or strategic, but I know that Torrei Hart wrote all of Kevin Hart's material, and she is the one who made him famous. Now, since they're divorced or whatever, people now, they say he's corny. He's not that funny. When he first came out, he was hot as hell. He was hilarious. And I do see a difference in his comedic style and his jokes. They're not, I mean, I'm not taking away his talent, but she is a brilliant writer. Katt is brilliant. And together, I think they're just going to blow the comedic world up. I really do.
Henry, anything?
You know what? I think it's great that she's going on tour with Katt. The real question is, she was with her husband for how many years and helped to cultivate his career, and we never saw her on any of his tours, in any of his projects. So I think it's a really great flex, and it's definitely a great way to throw some shade where it needs to be thrown.
Definitely. And I'm here for it. Speaking of shade, there was a little bit, I don't know if it was shade or not, but for those who don't know, Suge Knight from prison has a podcast, and his podcast is called Collect Call, and I'm here for it. Check it out on YouTube. And he interviewed Katt Williams, and let me just say, my opinion is he gave him the stamp. I support you. Thank you for telling the truth. We have all been waiting for the truth to come out. He brought up, y'all have to check it out. He brought out the whole thing with Tupac. He said, you know what was that? You knew the truth about that night, just like I know the truth. So I think people are looking for this year, 2024. It's going to be the year of truth. And I'm here for it. I'm here. And I think the platform that we have, we're the perfect ones to bring it to you. We all have various, of course, personalities and opinions, but we're here for that. And so you're going to hear more about the Katt Williams story, because I'm sure it's not over. Do you guys have anything you want to add to that?
I do. Katt didn't even scratch the surface. I think the entertainment and the music world's about to blow. They're about to just completely be destroyed. And I think it's going to give I think it's going to give new artists an opportunity to have great platforms without the greed, without that. Because the one thing I can say about Diddy, do you remember when he was doing Making the Band?
Mm-hmm.
When he made those contestants walk in the night some miles to get him cheesecake, I lost so much respect for him. But that's the mentality that he has. I can't imagine myself fostering artists and treating them like worse than they did
Than
like
a dog.
70. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Worse than a dog.
it's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. And the people, I'm gonna say he's guilty, but I hold the people around him no different than R. Kelly. Everybody that was around him for all of that, they are just as responsible. What are we talking about for those who don't know? There were requests that were made, there were things that happened to people that were against their will, sexual favors, parties, they call them F-off parties. I won't say it, but if you feel free, you would like to. They had all those parties, those Diddy parties. And I think the reason Katt Williams came forward was because this stuff was starting to get out of control. I know I heard him mention, I don't know his true motive, but I think part of his motive was to bring about truth. He got sick and tired of being sick and tired of hearing all the things going on, and people were talking about money. And the reason you don't have it and they have it is because, and the reason you're jealous and you don't have, all of that came out. And he was like, what we're going to do is going to shut this up. We're going to shut it down.
You got to play Massive game. They're playing Massive game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, right?
They're about to find out because Katt's on tour, and we're gonna continue to keep you posted. So we have more viral news. We're gonna keep going with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. If you don't know her name, she is a household name now, and she has many millions of followers right after she got released out of jail. If you don't know her story, here it is. Blanchard's mother, Dee Dee, falsely claimed her daughter was suffering from different illnesses until Gypsy arranged for her boyfriend to kill her in 2015. Dee Dee Blanchard is said to have suffered from Munchausen. Did I say that correctly?
You did.
Yes.
Dr. Michaela, thank you. Munchausen by proxy, and it's a psychological disorder, and it's marked by attention-seeking behavior by a caregiver to those who are in their care. And that's what the mother did to her daughter, Gypsy Rose, and it's egregious. So this time I'm going to start with you, Dr. Michaela. Do you think that Gypsy Rose has been fully rehabilitated? And why didn't the medical professionals not notice that there was a problem? Do you find that they are at fault?
Well, no, I don't think she will ever be fully rehabilitated. I mean, she's had drama before her mother was discovered, but now they don't call it Munchausen by proxy anymore. It's called factitious disorder imposed on another, and it describes a behavioral pattern rather than an underlying psychiatric syndrome. So yeah, they should have known. The doctors absolutely should have known better. As her mother, she probably came in. These are some things they should have looked for. She has attention-seeking behavior. She strives to be. She's too self-sacrificing and devoted to her child. She's overly involved with the doctors and staff. You know, they refuse to leave the children's side. She has more medical knowledge than an average person should have, and the symptoms should not have. The symptoms don't match the test result. I just don't understand how she could be treated for cancer, for so many disorders. What tests supported any operation that she had? What tests supported any diagnosis she had? Yeah. Not one test should have. The doctors, they should all be held responsible for what happened to that girl.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Henry?
Yeah, you know what's really, if you really focus on some of the situation and like some of the things that happened within this, before her mother was murdered by her boyfriend, we have to think about this. You know, this young lady over the past 30 years has gone through multiple bouts of chemotherapy. She's had body parts removed. She's had teeth removed. She's had her salivary glands removed. It's not just, going to a doctor and being treated, and she had a feeding tube installed unnecessarily. So this woman has been through physical and mental trauma. Yeah. And, one of the questions people have posed is that, should she even be released? You know, she did 8 years. She served her time for 8 years. And I think she's only been out now. I think it's been 2 or 3 weeks.
She just got out.
Yeah, she just got out 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so I just think that I think it's just miraculous. I'm shocked that she's even a functional human being. You know, you've seen her all over the news and in all the podcasts, and everything. I'm just shocked that she's functional.
I agree.
I agree. I agree with you.
I think she's going to need more therapy. I have a different kind of a concern. I see her, she's got all these followers, and we know how social media can be, right? So I don't want her to get up there and get a false sense of security. I think she already had that. And so to get out there that quickly and to get that many followers, she could read just 2 or 3 of the wrong comments. She could get thousands, but just 2 or 3 wrong comments could set her back for whatever she's doing for her mental health to move forward. I do think it's a lot. I'm not saying she shouldn't have a follow, but everybody's here for that. People followed her story for years, and the glow up, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, the glow up is real. Have y'all seen her? She looks fabulous. She doesn't look like what she's been through, to me.
Well,
Have you
good.
seen her? She looks great. So I think that's part of the reason they're following her. They're hanging on her every word, like, this chick is looking good. She's married now, not to the same guy, because unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I think the act was wrong. I think there was a better way, but I never walked a mile in her shoes, so I'm not judging. The gentleman that's serving time, the boyfriend at the time, he's still in jail, still serving time, and people feel like, well, she should still be serving time too, because the 2 of them went in on it. But I think they looked at her. She was truly the victim. Her mental health was truly breached by all of the things that happened to her during the course of the time that her mother had her going in, getting all different types of treatments that she did not need. You guys want to add to anything?
No, I just think
before we move
that I don't take murder lightly, but given the circumstances, I think he should have been given a little grace as well. I do.
I agree with you, Michaela. I agree with that.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I guess he should. And the reason, let me just tell you where my mind is. He knew, and I'm wondering, could he have been that voice to say, maybe that's not the best way for us to handle it? Let's go get help. Let's go find, because that means you're going to do time and I'm going to do time. I don't know too many people I can call that be really ready to kill somebody for me. I just don't. Well,
Kim, I would kill for you.
I was like, I had to think about that. I know you would, boo. I know. We're just joking, y'all.
Kim, I would kill for you. I'd kill a 6-pack of Negro Modelos.
For Coors Light. For Coors Light.
Listen, let's just say we all know people we could call for real though, but would you want to have to go through all that? It's a lot. It's a lot to have, I think, on your conscience. It's a lot to be left on you. And I think he could have given her a better option where he could have been okay and she would have made it to get the kind of help she needs. But
and I want to say one more thing. I want to say one more thing. I really think, for him, I feel like what you just said, to your point, that he should have had some more, awareness about it, because he wasn't actually in that situation. Now, for Gypsy Rose, going through, 30 years or 28 years of what she went, however, I think it was like 25, 20, something like that. She went through over 20 years of this kind of abuse from her mother. She probably thought that was the only way out, because she had run away from home before, and then, being dragged back by the police as a runaway child. So mentally, I think she probably could have, in the space that she was in, think that was the only way out. But he should have known better.
How did she, which I don't know, how did she know that she was a victim of Munchausen's?
She knew she wasn't sick. I mean, she knew her mother was poisoning her and giving her medications that she didn't need. It was clear,
Wow. That's a lot to live through. I am glad that she's out. I'm glad that she has a good support. She has staff now, y'all. Let's be clear. She has a support staff. She has people to do her hair. Like, she's getting a life that I think she fully deserves, considering all the things that she's been through. So life is different now. So we hope to continue to hear good things about Gypsy Rose in the coming days. So we gotta tackle this one. Sean, Diddy, and Cass. Sean P. Diddy Combs, Cassie. Y'all ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
We're the ones for this.
Can I say something?
Absolutely. Get us started, Henry. Let's go.
Well, I'm gonna start with alleged. I used to shoot Fashion Week. For years, I shot Fashion Week and have would be backstage, filming models and sometimes celebrities and interviewing the designer. And I would see him and Cassie. I would see him and different people, Farnsworth Bentley, his quote unquote assistant. And I'm going to tell you some of the just body language wise, I already knew what was up with him. I could tell that he was abusive by her body language and by the way he controlled with like a look or his eyes. You could absolutely tell that there was something up with that. And I think that it's interesting. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to read some of the deposition, but he paid her off the next day, because if you even read 2 paragraphs, it's like the most scathing,
egregious,
sexually sadistic thing that you've ever heard.
I agree. Dr. Michaela, would you like to add to that?
I was going to go back to the cheesecake thing. It just shows the propensity he has for control, and that he has no conscience. He just does not care at all. All he cares about is being wealthy, lording his wealth over people, controlling people. And I'm glad she did that, because it opened the door for other people that have been victims of him. And I'm so happy to see him get what he deserves, and other people around him get what he deserves, because so many people are tied to him. So many people have participated in his sex parties and in degrading women, degrading men. I'm happy that she did it. I'm happy she did. And some people may think, well, why now? Well, why not? Because, when I started my residency, I was a victim. On the first day, I was a victim. I was sexually attacked by a senior resident. And when I opened my mouth, nothing happened, because everybody liked him. So I know what it's like to be silenced when you are a victim of sexual assault. So, and I can imagine how hard it was for her, but how liberating it is for her. So, and I'm happy that she did it.
I'm beyond happy for her.
Thank you.
I think the reason that she came out, to backtrack a little bit, that they all have to sign an NDA with it, right? And I think it expires after like 10 years or something. So first of all, she hired the right team. So shout out to her law team, because when I say they came to play chess, not checkers, they came to play chess, not checkers. And from that, so many other lawsuits have spawned from that, like Brashear Gray from Empire. I did not know he was sexually assaulted allegedly by Diddy as well, and blackballed. He was blackballed because of one person. So I think the amount of, he left a lot of footprints. We've seen a lot of things. I'll be honest, when I saw Kim Porter died, I immediately said, Diddy did it. That was my first thought. When I saw that, Albie Shore, when he was in the hospital.
Yes, I thought that was suspect.
My first thought, Diddy has something to do with it. I'm not even in that industry where they are, right? So if I'm thinking it and feeling it, and other people are thinking it and feeling it, if you go read the comments under Kim Porter's post, right? People think and feel the same thing. This man is dirty. I think he's a demon, and I'm waiting for him to get his comeuppance. I'm just saying. I'm waiting for it. I'm here for it.
I'm telling you that
I can't wait to see Surviving Diddy.
Oh yeah.
So 50 Cent is producing that.
Oh, boy.
50 Cent is producing Surviving Diddy.
50 Cent is another person who shoots from the hip. He doesn't lie.
Love him.
And I dare you cross him. I wish somebody would. I really do, because
he lives off that.
The surface has not been scratched, and I cannot wait for them to just take that scab off, because baby,
it's gonna be real.
Oh, yeah,
it's gonna be real.
And
I'm here for that too. I think we all are. Okay, so do you believe there will be more allegations? I believe collectively we do, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe that TD Jakes will be mentioned as part of these allegations?
Wide open.
Continue.
Yes. Wide open.
You know what? With the TD Jakes thing, I'm gonna play devil's advocate with that one. With the TD Jakes allegations, I have seen some emails that were suspect for sure. Just the emails were
2 and 3
that I
a.m.
saw of one of his assistants were suspect. But I think they have a couple of inches and they're going miles. I really would like to see some more evidence. Surely there's photos, video, or even more emails that are more explicit than the ones that are out on the internet that anybody can go look up. But I think I'm ready to see it. Like I want to see what is it, because you know, I'm sure the question is what is a pastor doing hanging out with, you know, a rapper and a producer? But at the end of the day, they're both kind of in the same industry. If you think about it, it's still show business, right? Because he's not just a pastor, he's also a televangelist. He's a person who's on TV, and he is a celebrity. He can't just walk down the street. And I'm ready to see. I want to see some. You know, evidence now on everybody. I'm ready for it. You know, and
I think it's coming.
I'm ready to see it.
Can I tell you what I did not what I didn't like
can't
about?
imagine.
I visited his church before. I think it might have been in the early 2000s. And what I was so disgusted is that, you know, they have police presence there, but they roped off the front. They kept the celebrities get to sit in the front. The regular people sit behind the celebrities, and they have police there so that you can't interfere with the celebrities. That has nothing to do with the body of Christ. If Jesus walked into that church, Jesus wouldn't be sitting with the celebrities. He'd be sitting with the common people.
Everybody.
You don't make a
He'd be sitting
difference
with the
between-
whores and the whores and the hustlers. You know, that kind of reminds me of Fashion Week, where the front row is all A-list celebrities, and then behind those A-list celebrities, you have the different buyers for different stores, and you'd have the security. That sounds like if you went to Fashion Week, you know, not a church.
Yeah.
And what kind of church
That's
is that?
exactly
I don't want to be in. I mean, I was like, it was such a turnoff to me. And I know I went twice. I went to someone invited me to a Bible study, and they were taking collections for his birthday. What does that have to do with church? And they were like, they have ATMs in there. It's just a money grab. It's a whole money grab.
It's all about to get exposed. I'm telling you. I'm here for it too. It's time that the truth comes out. It's time that the light shines bright and make way for all the other people that want to come in there and do it the right way. You know, I just think it's time. And I don't think that TD Jakes is any different. He is a man just like anybody else. I know a lot of times people in church tend to worship the wrong thing. Like the person who's your pastor, he is giving you a word. He is supposed to lead by example. He's supposed to be your covering. He can't cover you if he's in the world doing what the world does. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
all right, up next, we have Hot Topics with Dr. Michaela. What you got, Dr. Michaela?
All right, first I want to talk about Elon Musk. That mother sucker. Okay, so January 24th, it was reported that Elon endorsed a tweet by a user who calls himself I/O, EYESLASHO, I/O. Well, this user claimed that graduates from HBCUs, and for those of you who know what that is, it's historically Black colleges and universities, are borderline, quote, approach borderline intellectual impairment. And this stems from the user being pissed off because United Airlines announced that in 2021 that it would give students at 3 HBCUs the opportunity to interview with their career development program for pilots. And this user claimed that Black people's SAT scores are lower, which directly correlates with our IQs. And he said that this is what it is, quote, the HBCU IQ averages are within 10 points of the threshold for what is considered intellectual impairment, end quote. And Musk responded, quote, I will take an airplane crashing and killing hundreds of people for them to change this crazy policy of DIE, D-I-E. And what he did is he rearranged the acronym for diversity, equity, and inclusion, then ML.
Oh.
Yes, he did. And
okay.
So of course, you know, that's a lie.
Mm-hmm. We know that. We're evidence.
Okay.
Let's start right here.
Right.
Dr. Michaela, Kimberly Jenkins. Okay. We are evidence of that being a lie.
Yes.
If that's not racism at its finest, to me, he's telling us how he feels about our people.
Okay. I'm not done.
There's more.
I'm not
Do
done.
Yes.
He also promoted a tweet, this is the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard. He promoted a tweet that says, Jews push hatred against whites. Jews push hatred against whites. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And this is the cherry on the top. And I wish that you people would get off X and stop buying his fucking cars. You know what's happening right now at Tesla? They're facing a lawsuit with the EEOC for allowing racial abuse against Blacks, which includes racial slurs and nooses on the job. And those, yes, nooses. And those who have addressed those allegations have been retaliated against. All the victims have been retaliated against, and they refuse to address the allegations. For one, Tesla will not do it. But he is he is a racist. He's sadistic. He's just a piece of trash. He's garbage. He's garbage. And then you tell me you could not get off your X account? It wouldn't let you off of it?
Yeah, I tried to get off and it won't let you you can't just log out and cancel your account. It's still there. And then I keep getting alerts that someone is trying to log into it. Who's trying to, you can have it, but just take me out of it. Don't get my email and everything attached to it. And I believe that's him behind that. And I hope, like you said, Michaela, our people, people with a pulse, upright and mouth breathing, quit buying his cars. But if you're Jewish and Black, you should be offended right now. If you're white standing with Jews and Blacks, you should be offended right now. That's an offensive thing that he did. And he's telling us who he is. Why do we support that? Why?
Well,
Henry,
you know what?
I
I definitely gave up. I mean, I don't even get on there anymore. And now that they've changed it, I think it's, first of all, you purchasing an asset that is very much recognized by brand, and you change the name of it to something that's not recognizable, and now you have to rebrand it. So what's the point of spending all of those billions of dollars to purchase this company, really, which is a failing asset? I don't know when it was. It must have been like 2013 or 2008 when Ashton Kutcher kind of blew up Twitter. I mean, really, he blew it up. He made it big, because before that it wasn't. And so now I just think that I think he's a horrible marketer for his company as far as marketing goes, from what he's done, kind of like exposing his true self. Everybody loved him a few years back. We were completely in love with him. He's this great genius. And then it comes out, once he makes all of his billions, he's perfectly comfortable with, rearing his actual head. And, just seeing what he did with Johnny Depp's ex-wife and the whole the intertwining of that, he's just trash with, trash with money.
I agree.
My next one. D.L. Hughley. I love D.L. Hughley. Now,
me too.
He posted something. There was a white man who called out Ketanji Harris. He called her that senator. Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Cortez, and Kamala Harris. He wants to know if they think white men are the greatest threat to America, why do you keep marrying them? Motherfucker.
I'll tell you what, DL doesn't come to play. Go ahead, Michaela.
Okay, listen. They didn't marry they didn't marry the Republican supremacists, the Republican scum. They did not marry. They're talking about Republican scum. They're talking about the people who try to erase our history. They're talking about the people who try to tell women what to do with their bodies. They're talking about scum, not the men that they fell in love with. They're talking about Republican scum. And most of the Republicans in the Senate are disgusting human beings. They don't care about their constituents. They just want to win. That's what they're talking about. That's who they're fighting against. That really pissed me off.
I don't trust our government, so I don't like any of them. I'm gonna be the first one to say that. I think they're all scum. I think they all have an agenda they work together, in my opinion. I just don't, I used to, and I was totally Democrat. I am neither. I do not care for either party anymore. I feel like we have been used, and I just feel like we've been used. So that's that on that. But regarding the comment that was made and the fact that they're marrying, I believe, yes, you can marry whoever you want to marry, but I guess there are no buts. You can marry who you want to marry. Make sure you know who you're getting though. Like, I don't want it to be somebody's sisters or brothers. You marry somebody and they don't get our culture, or they don't understand our struggle. If they don't get it, how do two become one? I don't understand that. And I'm being honest and transparent because it's in my household. It's
I married white, and he and my stepchildren understood our struggle. We had no issues there. That's right. I just take issue to that, to what he said. Why, when I said every white man is a threat to America. Those white men I'll say, with the exception of maybe one or two, are a threat to our well-being. They are a threat to our country, period. They are. What do you think, Henry?
Well, you know what I think as far as, marrying outside of your race or marrying, a white man. I think this is what I think. I think that, in this world, you find who loves you and you go with that because it's hard enough. But I think as far as like when you're talking about somebody marrying outside of their race, or particularly Black women marrying white men, I do I have a big issue with it. I wouldn't have so much of an issue with it if Black women were marrying, white billionaires so we can get our reparations. I'd like to see something along the lines of that. But seriously, truthfully though, and I'm serious about that, but I would like to see if you are going to marry outside of your race, or you're going to marry a Black woman marries a white man, I'm okay with it as long as he doesn't compromise you as a Black woman in your culture and who you are. And oftentimes I do see that they are compromised and they forget who they are and where they came from until the police are called into the domestic dispute.
Kim Kardashian. Okay. I'll be the first one to say that on that. I'm like, leave our brothers alone, please. Because all y'all do is mess over them Kardashians. That's my opinion. Go ahead, let's go.
Two more. Robert Glasper. I don't know how old this is. I caught this on TikTok. Robert Glasper was talking about when he worked with Lauryn Hill, and he said he was told, don't look her in the eye and don't call her Miss Hill. And he said, well, she called him Robert. He said, okay, Lauren. He called her Lauren. He said, because he said that he exchanges respect for respect. And then he went on to say that she stole music from his friends, and he named Miss Education Lauryn Hill. He's like, she stole music from our friends. And then he said, he's hung out with Stevie Wonder, Quincy Jones, Herbie Hancock. And if they can be cool, she can too, because she hadn't done enough to be the way that she is. And I agree with him. Wholeheartedly, I agree with him.
Right.
And who the fuck is Robert Glass? I can't believe Chris. What's the name? Chris. What's the name? Chris.
Chris who?
No, Chris, the singer. Chris.
Stapleton.
No, good.
Now I feel like we're playing a game. Chris.
Oh my God.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown was like, when Robert Glasper went where he was like, who the fuck is Robert Glasper? I think he beat him in the category. I'm like, you don't know who Robert Glasper is. So he makes a whole joke of it on Instagram a lot. But he's a phenomenal artist. But
well, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting when for somebody to say who is Robert Glasper. I'll tell you who Robert Glasper is. Robert Glasper is the type of artist where he is not a household name, but if you ever go to his shows, it's star-studded. I was in New York because one of my friends is in his band. They're part of that scene and everything. And let me tell you, they set me down next to Common and Mos Def, and I'm like, whoa. As I walked into the room, I was like, some of these people look so familiar to me. Just everybody, it was just celebrities. It was star-studded. And as each musician came out, these musicians that I didn't know their name because they're not celebrities, let me tell you, it was like they brought the house down. It was amazing. It was really something to see. Robert Glasper is responsible for getting dozens of artists Grammys that never even received nominations before. And so Chris Brown knew who Robert Glasper was or is.
What do you think about Lauryn Hill and her not wanting people to address her by her first name?
You know what, sometimes when you're dealing with some of these celebrities and these stars that have been in this rarefied era and have been allowed to be pretty much brats, sometimes it's them, and then sometimes it's the people who handle them. In this case, I'm going to lean more towards it's Lauren herself, and I think that is absolutely appalling that she would want somebody to not look her in her eye or call her Miss Hill, and then you're not referring. You kind of lead by example. You go in and you lead by example. But I've been in some of these rooms and have heard people say, don't talk to this person or don't say that. And I just go right up to them respectfully and just do my job.
I like that. And I would agree with that. I think, okay, I'm going to just say what I'm thinking. Who does she think she is? Like, who do you think you are?
Mhm.
Who do you think you are? Now, I understand if Dr. Michaela, I'm going to call you Dr. Michaela because you earned doctor. You therefore should be addressed as such until you tell someone otherwise. Until you say, oh, no, I'm good. You could just call me Michaela. But I believe there's a proper way to approach people. There's a proper way to respond to people. And oh, by the way, we're the ones buying your music, Lauren.
Right.
So I think part of it is you have to know how to take care of your crowd, take care of the people who love on you, the people who are around you in your circle should be doing that. And that's part of your brand. And I'm gonna tell you, on that note, I'm just gonna say there's a comedian that I do not care for because he's rude. He sounds very pretentious, very much like that. And I no longer want to support him. I no longer care. He's talented, he's funny, people like him. I don't care for him.
The
Steve
joke
Harvey.
dealer?
Steve
Oh,
Harvey.
let me
I
tell you
don't like
something. I have
He's
a
rude.
friend who's a comedian, and she started out, I never forget, this was years and years ago when he was still here in Dallas. She opened a set for him. And he stole her jokes, and she called me crying because, I mean, who was she to complain against him? She was not a
A
known
budding,
comic.
yeah.
Yeah, he stole her jokes. And so when Mark Curry came out and said that, I think maybe 2 years ago, he first said that, and they called him a lot. I was right on his Instagram, like, no, he did that to my friend. She was crying. I mean, what could she do? He stole her material. Cat ain't lying. Cat didn't lie.
Cat ain't lying.
Can I
Cat's
tell
out
you
the
one thing
bag.
that
Yes.
one of the things that I'm sick of is I'm sick of him giving out relationship advice. I mean, this is his third marriage,
Oh.
right?
I could have a story.
It's
I
the
don't know if
third
I
marriage
should
to
tell
which
it.
He jumped off from his last, the new wife was the jump off. So I don't need to hear him say, do any more information about, or any more tips about, relationships and
I can say something, but maybe I'll save it for another time. I will discuss it and just then see.
I know what it is. We're gonna circle back and definitely tackle that. Don't forget it.
Okay,
Yes,
I shall never
agree.
forget it. Okay, I have one more. There's one more,
Yes.
and this is for the
Okay.
people. That was I saw this on Instagram. Dr. Jean Claude. She was telling people that you should change your underwear every day. Who the fuck does not change their underwear? Let me tell you something. We have two types of glands in our bodies: eccrine and apocrine glands. Apocrine glands are where your pits are and your genitals. So, let me tell you something. Women, we have folds and hair, all that kind of stuff. I happen to think women are a little bit more tart than men because we got a lot more going on.
We got more holes.
Listen, something. If you are not changing, you sweat every day. You got all that funk and shit. You pee. You take a dump. I'm sure you may wipe good. You may not. All that's in your underwear. You stink. Who would not change? I just can't believe it.
Who do they have to tell to change their underwear?
Please, you're gonna put that back. You can put those shitty, pissy things back on your body. She should not have even. That shouldn't even been a. It shouldn't even been on.
What, Michaela?
She should not even have to tell people that. Grown people.
I agree, but let me tell you what I learned. Probably during COVID, watching everybody on social media. First, I learned that we as Black people, we use washcloths. Hey, hello, amen, thank you. Right. Then there are those other people who want to argue about, I don't use a washcloth, I just use soap. How do you exfoliate? How do you get the dead skin cells and all the dead skin off your body? There's so many things. Ashton Kutcher and his wife went and said, they went on, I don't remember what show it was, but y'all can look it up. And they said, we don't bathe every day and we don't bathe our kids every day.
That's some funky sex. I'm gonna tell you,
that's some funky sex. They said, but this is what they do. They said they wash souls and holes. That's what they do. And then they take a shower once a week. Ma'am, sir.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Yes,
I know men actually didn't say that. That's disgusting.
Souls and holes, look it up. Sounds like boats and hoes, but it's souls and holes.
Here's the deal. If you're from, if you're particularly from like the South or Southern regions, no pun intended, like Texas, Louisiana, Arizona, these more Southern states, sometimes you have to take a bath a couple of times a day because it's so hot.
Yes.
I cannot imagine not, bathing once or twice a week. That sounds horrendous, especially if you're having to interact with other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's offensive, and it can be offensive to other people to have to smell that. These are people that get on flights, trains, get Ubers, and we're the ones that have to smell those.
Walking past and your hula hoop winds think, I don't want to smell your hula hoop
I don't
wind.
want to smell your
wanna
walk
smell
by
it.
air. I don't smell your sit down air, your walk by air, your breath air. I don't want to smell
None of that. None of that.
Wow.
That's my hot topics. That's it. That's my gripe.
Dr. Michaela, you brought
change
some
it.
great ones.
Change your draw, and they're not draws, people. Draw is a type of speech. It's not draws. It's drawers. Drawers. It's not draws.
When you're from the South, you say change them draws. Change them draws. They understand what you're talking about.
Drawers. It's not draws. Okay, people.
Draws.
It's not draws. Southern
so
people have
proper.
draws. That's how you talk. Stop it. Stop it.
Listen, Dr. Michaela is going to always be there to correct you on pronunciation, enunciation, and anything that you might not get correctly. Don't get the word wrong. She's going to check you on it. She's very intelligent, Elon Musk. Bastard. I'm sorry. Did I bring that up again?
And fucker. Yeah, you did.
That's all right, because we're not going to be buying Teslas. We're going to put our money somewhere else. Well, this has been great, you guys. Thank you guys. Have had some great hot topics. Thank you, Dr. Michaela. Henry Miner, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for being here. And of course, we will be back with more secondhand news that you can use on our next segment here on DTR TV. Thank you for joining us.